All right, 3:02. Let's get started, everyone. So welcome to today's 70DU free trial class for pre-algebra. As everyone knows, pre-algebra is one of the most foundational and difficult math classes that students will take. So we're really glad that Michelle is here with us today to give us sort of a head start on the subject. Because today is an interactive class that really mimics the style of a regular classroom, we ask that all students please turn on your cameras and be prepared with like paper and pencil in front of you to be able to solve some problems. So please turn on your camera right now if you are able to. Camera's not working, that's okay, all right, but everyone else who can turn on their cameras, please do so. So before I introduce Michelle and let her take over, I wanted to talk about two more important classes that 70DU is offering right now. So 70DU's co-founder, Dr. Yan, and today's instructor, Michelle, will be teaching two classes in January to help you guys prepare for STEM competitions for your age group that can really help you get ahead for college. So the first is to prepare you for the eCyber Mission competition, and the second is to prepare you for the 3M Youth Challenge. So if you're interested, I'm dropping the registration links into the chat right now. You can talk to your parents as well, ask if they're interested. So that is the information. And then without further ado, let's just get started and introduce our teacher for today's class. So Michelle is our instructor today. So as a graduate of Berkeley's renowned electrical engineering and computer science program and a hardware engineer for over 25 years, Michelle has a really extensive STEM background and has been transitioning over the past few years to use her knowledge to educate students like you guys. So she's been teaching middle school and high school students math subjects for several years now, and we're really lucky to have her with us at 70DU teaching our math classes as well. So let's just go ahead and get started with today's class. Michelle, are you ready to share your PowerPoint and take over? You're on mute, I believe.
Oh yeah, thank you. Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, everybody ready? Okay, so thank you for that introduction. Today, what I'd like to cover with you folks is hopefully your parents are there with you. We're just going to go through quickly what is pre-algebra, why is it important, what does it cover, and how would we best study it, okay? And then we'll move on to you folks and give you a chance to do some math, all right? Okay, so what is pre-algebra? Basically, pre-algebra is what we call the math that is right before you folks take algebra. It is preparing you to study algebra, and it covers really the foundational skills that will make it easier for you to do algebra. You folks can think of it also as the bridge between what you learned in elementary school and what you're going to learn after middle school. And it's very critical that you learn those skills so that it becomes easy, okay? All right, so for instance, why is it important? Okay, what I've seen teaching middle school is that students, when you learn in elementary school, you learn the fundamentals, which is good. So you learn to compute everything from left to right, however it's given to you on the page, right? And now we want you to start thinking about the big picture of what you're trying to solve. So you may want to use different techniques to solve that, right? So that you could be computing more accurately and more quickly. We want you to develop a number sense so that you know kind of when you're maybe not on the quite right track, okay? So you don't waste time spinning your wheels, okay? These are the foundational building blocks that will help you also in the math competitions, such as math counts and the MOMS and the AMC8. And you don't just stop seeing them after middle school. You still see them in some of the ACT, SAT, and SAT2 math tests that you'll have to take before you get into college. Okay, so very critical that you do that. Now, what does it cover? Okay, let me just, hold on. I made it too small for you folks. Okay, what does it cover? This is a list of all the different topics that we cover in pre-algebra. Oh, can somebody get that? Thank you. Okay, so for instance, you'll copy properties of arithmetic, number theory, fractions. Okay, who likes fractions? I hope you like fractions. Decimals, right? Decimals, exponents, problem solving with all kinds of equations and inequalities, ratios. A key thing for middle school is learning how to do proportions. So you have to be very comfortable with fractions, decimals, and proportions. Square roots, right? Pythagorean theorem, maybe some basic geometry, some data analysis and statistics, and also some probability, right? Okay. Okay, so again, what I'm trying to point out is if you have these basic foundational skills and you're comfortable with them, this helps you develop a good number sense so that you can think more about what the problem really means instead of just trying to do the problem. So we want you to get push on from the mode of elementary school where you are learning just to approach the problem, and we want you to think about what you're actually doing while you're doing the problem. Uh, this may cause you to change some of the methods that you will use to do the problem. But if you are willing to work hard and go through the problems with us, we can assure you that they will get easier as you start doing them. Okay, they will also, what you'll find in middle school is you'll do a bunch of word problems. Okay, and it is critical for you to feel comfortable about developing the equations to solve those word problems, and they become easy when you do that. Okay, we would also like you to be able to explain yourself mathematically and show that you know how to tell how you got to the solution, not just what the solution is. Okay, and I will ask that you folks be attentive to your details while you do that. Okay. Okay, so basically at 7EDU, the pre-algebra series is constructed of 4 major classes. We are just starting with pre-algebra 1, which is listed on the far left. You'll notice as we go from left to right, we're building upon each of the different classes so that we will get to eventually, stats at the end. And again, this is so that we cover basically almost all of the math that you will be learning in middle school. Okay, and this will give you a chance to practice those skills. All right. Okay, so as I said before, okay, you're going to be learning about 80% of the Common Core math curriculum. This is a good opportunity for you to ask questions. I know from being a middle school teacher that many students don't want to ask questions when there's a large setting. We are going to be in a smaller setting so that's easy for you folks to ask questions if you do not understand. That's perfectly okay, right? Because we're all learning together. We ask that you learn to use the appropriate math language, and we will help you learn how to express yourself in math so that people can see that, oh, they really do know what they're talking about and they enjoy doing it. Okay. And this will give you a chance also to build the foundational skills for those middle school math competitions that I listed. Okay. Okay. So questions. I mean, I know I went a little bit fast there. Does anyone have questions about, if you have a question right now, you may either direct message me, or if you could, I would ask that you turn on your camera so I can see if you're raising your hand, because I can't quite see you right now. Okay. If your parents are there and they have a question, thank you for turning on your camera, Creighton. If you have a question, please could you, yes, Creighton's father, could you please turn on your mic? Thank you.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so I've noticed a lot of the classes of this type, and even in the public schools, right? The
Yeah.
idea is that yeah, they want to teach the students to think and all, and they don't want them to do rote problems. So they teach. Let's take in this instance, they'll teach them exponents. They'll give them three problems, multiple choice, and let's be honest, anybody who tries can fake their way through three multiple choice questions and move on, right? So what I want to know is do you guys give enough practice problems that the student becomes comfortable? I mean, I don't want him to do, 3 hours of doing the same problem over and over, but I think three problems per area is not enough. I'm hoping to find something in between.
Yes. So during the time that we are working together, we will be doing problems together. We will not just be doing one or two problems. We'll have a bunch of problems to do. One thing though is it's critical that he be able to express himself how he solved the problem because kids learn from each other. I found that it's more important, it's almost as important as me teaching for the kids to learn to teach each other because they will listen to each other better. So if you can do the problems yourself, that's one thing. Can you teach somebody else that's your peer that you can do the problem? That's brings you to another level. So that's the level that I would like students to achieve during this time. Did that answer your question? Thank you. Okay, other question, let's see. Somebody else wants to ask a question. Again, please, could you turn on your camera? Because I can't see if you're holding your hand up. Okay, thank you,
Yeah.
Max.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, I was just gonna say that there's someone in the chat who asked how many students per class.
Oh, how many students? I think, can you handle that one? Because I don't know who's enrolled, right?
Yeah, Trinzy, if you're on this call right now, could you answer that question potentially?
Around.
Trinzy, I think you're cutting out. If you could maybe type the answer in the chat.
And sorry, I didn't roll my chat box down.
You know what? I will go ahead and just text Trinzy privately since it seems like she might be having some internet issues, and then I'll get that answer for you guys throughout this class, if that works.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so if there are no other questions, or are there any more questions from the parents? Please, could you use your chat box if I happen to have missed you and you raise your hand? I'm scanning right now to see if anyone has their hand raised, but I don't see anyone. Okay, all right, so if we don't have any more questions from the parents, or if you think of a question later, please put in the chat box. Uh, so kids, if you could please turn on your cameras now. I would expect you to have a pencil, some scratch paper, and I'd like you to work on this problem right here. So which of these does not belong? Okay, just I don't want you to think like a long time on this. Take about 2 minutes. Why do you think so? And you may take these hints right now about is it the digits used that are different? Is it the sums that are different? Please have a reason for why you think something is different. And I would appreciate it if you would both turn on your camera. Thank you, Creighton and Max. And then please direct message me when you have an answer. Okay. Okay, I saw a question about office hour support. I think that's something that maybe Anne and Chunzi you can address.
Yeah, definitely. I'm talking with Trinzy right now because her internet seems to not be connecting, but we'll get that answer for you guys throughout this class.
Thank you. Okay, no one seems to be direct messaging me. So direct message means you use the chat box, right? And you can do it privately to me and send me what your answer is. Okay, has everyone found where the chat box is for your Zoom? Okay. Okay, other than Max and Creighton, does anyone else, and Robert, you're having trouble with your camera, right? But is anyone else a student? And so could you please turn on your camera so I can tell that you're a student? I would appreciate that. Okay. Okay, anyone have an answer? Which one do you think? Oh, thank you, Max. Okay, that's a very good observation. Okay. Creighton, would you like to put something in your chat box too? Okay, so why don't we go with Max? Max, would you like to share what you shared with me?
Red does not belong because it has 4 addends. The others only have 3 addends.
Yes, thank you, Max. Very good observation. Anyone want to say why yellow looks like it doesn't belong? Okay, yellow is a bunch of even numbers added together, right? Okay. What about blue? Why doesn't blue belong? Well, perhaps the ordering is. Oh, yeah, Max, what do you got? What do you think? Why doesn't blue belong? So actually, Max, Creighton just direct messaged me. Creighton, you want to share your answer about why you think the cyan or blue one doesn't belong?
Because it's the sum isn't an even one.
Very good. Okay, that's a very good observation, right? Okay, so thank you for that, guys. Okay, so let's go on. Okay, so now what I want to talk about is arithmetic properties. Okay, and I don't know if you folks have learned about the commutative and associative properties. If you have, can you give me a thumbs up that you've already heard of those things? Thumbs up. Thank you, Max. Yeah, okay. So here we have a jar, right? Hold on. Okay, so hold on, Max. So commutative property, notice I have for addition and multiplication here. Do you notice that the order doesn't matter, right? How I'm doing it. So I can add a plus b, and it's the same as if I added b plus a. For associative, do you folks see that I'm using these parentheses for the addition and multiplication methods? So do you see that I'm like grouping things, either b plus c or a plus b, right? And does it matter how I'm doing that? No, right? Okay, so how many marbles are in my jar? Okay, is it going to matter what strategy I use to count them? What do you folks think, given that I just went through the ordering properties? Okay, I'm not gonna stay on this screen so you can count them all, but good try, Max. Okay, okay, let's go on. Okay, so since the order does not matter, okay, I want you folks to think of an easy method to do it because there's like a jumble of marbles in there. Okay, so let's try and try to use those principles to actually work on some other problems. So folks, can you start on the left one? I'd like you to add 27 plus 73 plus 36 plus 64 plus 45 plus 55. Okay, please direct message me, guys. if you have an answer to that. Okay. And if you do, and you finish that one, please try the one on the right, but do the one on the left first, okay? So Robert, you have trouble with your camera. Are you having trouble hearing me? Or you're okay? Please, can you chat me and say that you're okay? Thank you. Okay. Okay, very good, Creighton. So let's hold on with that. Okay, you may go on to the second one. Okay, so is everybody about ready for the left side? I know Creighton sent me something. Oh, okay, sent me two things, okay? Okay. So we're all working together, so right? So okay, so did you notice on the left side, right? Are you trying to add them from left to right? And in this case, it's okay to do that, right? But are you adding them one at a time, or are you trying to group them into maybe two at a time to make it easier, right? You see that it's easier? Yeah, Max, very good, very good. Okay, so, okay, I've seen that both of you have gotten 300, is that right? Thumbs up, you got both 300, right? Okay, very good. And now, oh, and I see that both of you also have gotten the, okay, so can you, one of you, Creighton, can you help me explain how you got the 300 on the left?
Well, I grouped 27 and 73 since it's basically 100, and then
Mm-hmm.
36 plus 64 is also 100, and then 45 plus 55 is 100. So I have 300s, which is equal to 300.
Okay, thank you, Creighton. And Max, you want to handle the second one?
Sure. So we could just do 1,375 minus 1,275 equals 100. Then 6,179 minus 6,079 equals 100. 100 plus 100 equals 200.
Thank you. Okay, let me try and turn on my annotate. Sorry. Okay, having trouble with the annotate. Okay, so basically you have grouped them, right, in order to make it easier for yourself. Good job, Max. Okay, can you guys try the same type of grouping perhaps on the bottom? Good job, Robert. Okay, so try multiplying the 25 by 17 by 4 by 20. And if you do that one, go ahead to the one on the right. Okay. If you are having trouble, please just direct message me and we can help you out. Okay. Ah, there's my annotate bar. Got it. Okay. 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 Okay, nice job, Robert. Okay. Okay. So, okay, nice job, Max. Okay. Robert, would you like to explain what you got for number 3 in the bottom left?
I did 25 times 4 and then times 17 times 20.
Okay.
Then
And what'd you get?
times 4 equals 100, and it's easier to do that.
Thank you for that, right? Okay. And did anyone go for the one on the right? Okay. What do you folks get on the one on the right? Okay, Max, try again. Okay, almost, try again. Okay, I'm hoping you folks are not multiplying everything like 20 by 36 by 56 before you start dividing them. I'm hoping you remember you can use the commutative property of multiplication and try and find an easier way of grouping the numbers so that you don't have to do big, huge calculations. So what happens if you would like actually group, oops, sorry, these two numbers? Oh, I gave you a hint. Can anyone say why it's 24? Okay, so if I write it, the divide as a fraction, I would write it like this. 20 divided by 10 times 36 divided by 12 times 56 divided by 14. And wouldn't that be much easier, right? Because this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. Okay, so we get 24, right? Okay, everybody good so far? Questions? Raise your hand. That one was a little bit different, right, than you're used to seeing. Okay, let me go on. Okay, so besides ordering, there's these identity properties. So for instance, if I'm putting marbles in my jar, okay, and I take out the same number of marbles, did I change the number of marbles in my jar? No, right? Okay, so that's what an identity property is. If I add 0 to something, it's still itself. That's the addition property you see here. If I multiply something by 1, it's still itself. Okay, the inverse properties, and this is what you need to know when you're solving equations, right, is the opposite of addition is subtraction, and the opposite of multiplication, or the inverse, is division, right? And they cancel each other out. Okay. Yes. Did somebody just chat something? Okay. So given that, okay, does anyone think that I'm changing the number of marbles in here? I hope you're going to say no, right? Because if I add 0 or if I multiply them by 1, I'm not going to be changing the number of marbles in my jar. Okay, so let me go on. So please use that now to try the one on the left. Okay, so, working with middle school students, many middle school students, I've found that most of you don't like fractions. Okay, that might be okay, except that when you go to algebra, it's way easier if you can do it with fractions. Okay, so don't be afraid to play with the fractions. So if you have an answer for the one on the left, please direct message me. Okay, and if you need a hint, all right. So remember, we just talked about grouping things to make identities. So if I'm grouping these things together, perhaps I should rearrange how it's being added. Okay, so maybe I should do something like, you folks need a hint? So what if I did -5 plus -5/7, right? Which would be -5 and 5/7 plus 8 plus -3 plus -2/7. Is that going to make it easier to add all those things together? What do you think? Okay, let me fix that so it's easier to read. Okay, so if it were me, I would be like grouping all the whole numbers and adding them. So -5 plus 8, that's 3, minus 3 is 0. And -5/7 plus -2/7. I see Max just, yes, and Creighton both sent that in. Very good. It is -1, right? Okay. So, okay, what about the one on the right? Okay, I see Max sent something in. You sure about that, Max? Okay. You want to double check that perhaps? Okay. Robert, good job. Okay. Okay, so try and use the hint that I gave you on the left for the one on the right. Creighton, very good. Okay. So do you notice that some of the fractions may not be their simplified forms? So like, what's 9/12? Is that the same as some other fraction that's listed there? Okay. What about 4/32? Is that the same as some other fraction out there? Okay. Creighton, would you like to explain this one? Give everyone a hint about how you would go about this one.
Add the whole numbers and then the fractions.
Okay. So if you add the whole numbers, and you guys are listening to Creighton, so Max, if you add the whole numbers, what did he get for a whole number?
I got -1, but I can.
Okay. Okay, so for instance, okay, he said his hint was add all of these guys, 5 plus 6 minus 3 minus 2. And what do you get? 11 minus 5 or 6, right? Okay, so we get 6 as the whole number. Okay, and then let's look at these fractions. We have 3/4 and -3/4, right? And we have 1/8 and -1/8. So that is 0, right? So we're just going to get 6, right? Okay, good job, Creighton, right? Okay, Max, you see that? Okay, so you have to be really careful that the negative goes with the fraction. Yeah, Max, question?
I didn't do number 2.
That's okay, right? But do you see how we can regroup the numbers so they're easier? Because it's like a big mess there, right? Okay, so I don't want you to do it left to right because that's too hard, right? It was hard. Okay, so let's go on. Okay, what about, do you folks know anything about percents? You know what this 150% is? Yeah? Okay. Robert, you doing okay over there? Okay, does anyone need a hint about what a percent is? Percent. Okay, so percent, look at the word percent, okay? Percent. Percent. Okay. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Max. You did it in percents. Okay. Give me a whole number. Now give me a whole number. Okay. Okay, so percent means per. It basically means you're doing per 100. So 150% is 150 divided by 100, right? And you're going to multiply that by 2 and by 15 divided by 5. Okay, so what are you going to get from that? Okay, not quite, Creighton. Okay, try and do it again. What do you get with 15 divided by 5? Okay, 3. Thank you, Max. And what do you get from 150 divided by 100? What fraction is that? Yeah, 3/2. Okay. Okay. And then if you multiply by 2, what's that? Did I do that right? Max said it's 900%, right? So that's 900% or 9. Okay, so does everyone see that 2 divided by 2 here is going to cancel, and we're just going to get 9. Okay, Creighton, does that make sense? Yes? You're good with that? Okay, Robert, you okay with that too? Okay. Good, thank you. Okay, so has anyone seen this messy looking fraction on the right? Anything? And does that look familiar to you at all? This is what we call a complex fraction. Complex. Okay. Okay. Oh, thank you, Robert. You've seen that before. Okay, so if you're doing this type of a problem, right? Yeah, that's right, Robert. A complex fraction is a fraction in a fraction. So perhaps you will do, okay, 3 is not quite the answer, okay? So try to simplify this first as a fraction, and then do this next, and then divide 15 by that and multiply by 3. So what do you get? What's 7 divided by 1 plus 7? Okay. Okay, if you said 7/8, you would be right. So what is 1 plus 7/8? Yeah, right. Okay. Okay, so Robert, you got that, right? So now you guys are at 15 divided by 15 divided by 8, which is the same as 15 times 8 over 15, or yes, it is 8. So what's 8 times 3, Robert? Yeah, exactly. Okay, so Max, you think you haven't answered it? Creighton, good, very good job. Okay, okay, Max, you okay with this? Okay, so it is 24. Okay, everybody good with that? Okay, let's go on. Okay, oh, let me clear my board. Getting a bit messy. Okay, so who has heard of distributive property? Distributive property. Anyone? Not really? Okay, so I want you to think of it like this. If I had organized all my marbles like this, would they be easy for you to count? If they are, please thumbs up. They're easy to count. Or, nah, it didn't make any difference. Okay, what do you think? Easier to count? Because I'm going to ask you how many marbles are in my jar now, because you've seen it like 3 times. Okay, so you have a number for me? Marbles in my jar? Okay. How would you count these marbles? Hopefully you're counting the number of rows and looking at the number of marbles in each row, right? Okay, so for instance, right, how many reds do you folks see? Max, how many reds do you see?
15.
Great, okay. Creighton, how many greens do you see? Nice job, Robert. Yeah, Creighton? We have 14, okay, good job. And Robert, how many blues do you see?
13.
Great. And do you guys match up with Robert? He's saying that there's actually 15 plus 14 plus 13, or somebody tell me how many marbles in my jar?
42.
Thank you. 42. Thank you, Creighton. Okay. So how do we use that? Let's go and use it in some problems. So can you folks do the one on the left? How would I use the distributive property there? Oh, let me clear my board. Okay. Maybe I should remember that distributive property is, it's going to look like this, right? Maybe I should do something like this. Oh, sorry. 16 times -3/8 plus 1/4. Is that an easier way of doing this problem? Perhaps, right? If you know what -3/8 plus 1/4 is. Okay. So that would be 16 times -3/8 plus 2/8, or -1/8, right? Okay, so what's 16 times -1/8? You guys can direct message me if you know what that is. Or maybe you see I did a problem wrong. That would be okay too. Okay. Oh, very good, Robert. Okay. Okay, so 16, yeah, Creighton, Max, very good, guys. Okay. You all got -2. That's very good. Now, can you do the one on the right? -6 times 5 1/3. How would I do that one with the distributive property? Would it be easier for me to do it? Because maybe then I wouldn't have to turn 5 1/3 into a fraction, right? Okay. So think about how you would do it. Oh, sorry. If you did -6 times 5 plus 1/3, perhaps is that easier to do it that way? Okay, so we're going to learn about distributive property. And I always tell my kids, write in the arrows, draw in the arrows, the waterfall. So that's -6 times 5 plus -6 times 1/3. Okay. Yeah, good job, Creighton. Okay. Is that how you did it, by the way? Or you did it a different way? Different way? Okay. Creighton, would you like to explain how you did yours?
I did it your way.
Really? Okay. Did you find that breaking it up that way made it a little easier?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay. Yeah, it's a different way to look at things, right? Okay. Yeah, Robert, you're okay with that too? Right? So this is -30 plus -2, right? So it's -32, right? Does that make sense? Different way of looking at it, right? The other way, if you were doing it, just by converting this, you would have said -6 times 16/3, right? Which you could do it that way too, but sometimes it's good to look at problems from a different angle. Okay. Okay. Yeah, got it. Okay. So I'm being told I'm taking too long. Sorry about that. So let me get going to wrap it up. Okay. I'm going to let you folks see this first, but then I want to go to the synthesis. What is the mean or average of all counting numbers less than 100 that are multiples of 3? That's your bonus challenge, okay? So you could do that after, but let's go on, okay? So, okay, you should get 51, okay? But now let's go through the synthesis. So true or false, fill in the blank. Bullet 1, there's only one correct way to solve a problem. If you think it is true, thumbs up is true. If you think it's false, thumbs down, false. There's only one way to correctly solve. Thank you, Max. Yeah, there's multiple ways, right? Okay. Okay. What about commutative? Bullet 2, commutative and associative properties are useful because I can choose the blank to work on calculations. Thank you, Robert. Yeah. What do you guys think? What should I put in the blank? What do I do for commutative? Start the letter O. Start the letter O. Anything start with O? Anyone know anything? Oh, Max, you got it. You want to say it out loud?
The order.
Thank you. Okay. Identity and inverse properties help me simplify by looking for blank for addition and subtraction, or blank for multiplication and division. Anyone got an answer for this? What do I try and group things so I get to an identity, something that's very easy? Starts with the letter Z, and the other one starts with the letter O. Z and O. Can anyone think of anything? If I add 3 plus -3, what am I getting? Show me on your fingers. Yeah. Okay, nice. 0 and 1. Okay, very important numbers. Okay, distributive property gives me a different method, two different methods to calculate the same value because it states A times B plus C is AB plus AC, right? Okay, so basically, folks, I want you to think about this. True or false? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Knowing how to look at a problem in different ways gives me more tools to solve their problems. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Thumbs up? Hopefully it is thumbs up. More tools, easier, right? More tools. Okay, so folks, that is a wrap up of our lesson. You want me to go back to the challenge, bonus challenge, and you guys can look at it again, or you're going to work on it by yourselves after? Does anyone have a question? Oh, good job, Robert. Okay. So anyone have a question about what we covered? Anybody have a question about the class? Any parents have any additional questions? Okay. Oh, yes, Creighton's dad.
Yeah, so you mentioned like the pre-algebra, there were 4 classes if I remember, right? So
Yeah, let me roll back over there. Okay, let's see. It's like here, I think, right? Oh, one more. Yeah.
so 12 hours, how many calendar days are we talking? Calendar weeks are these?
Anne, can you folks take that one for me?
Yeah, I will send some of the registration links into the chat right now, and I believe on these links you can also see the exact like schedule of the classes.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Anyone have a different question? Okay. You sure? Does anyone want to do that challenge problem right now? Who wants to do the challenge problem? Okay, I'll roll it back to the challenge problem while we wait for more questions. Okay, let me roll it back to the challenge problem so that you folks can work on it. Okay, let's see, where's the challenge problem? Okay. And I hope you're not going to write on your piece of paper all the different counting numbers. Well, you could write them down, but try and write them so that's easier for you. Not quite, Max. Not quite. Okay. So try and think about how would I group them? Okay. How would I group them so it's easier? All right. Okay. Well, I've enjoyed talking with you guys today. Okay. Unless you have any extra questions for me, are we all good? We're good? Yeah. Okay. So I hope to see you in pre-algebra, hopefully. Okay. And if you have questions, you can please send it to us. Oh, yeah, you're very welcome, folks. Okay. Okay. Any questions? Thank you, Robert.
All right, awesome. Looks like there's no questions. Thank you so much, Michelle, for teaching this class today. So in the chat box, remember I just sent those 2 registration links for our pre-algebra classes coming up. There's some more information about like the schedule and the timing and stuff like that on those links as well, so make sure to check it out. And then lastly, I think always be sure that you can email us at info@70du.org or message us on WeChat if you have any other further questions about Michelle's classes or some of the STEM competition classes that I mentioned earlier as well. So I'm going to drop in the chat the links to all of our upcoming events as well as our contact information right now. So a really big chat is about to come through. All
Yeah,
right.
you're welcome, Max.
Okay, cool. And I guess that's it, everyone. So if you have any other questions, we'll stay on for just a couple more minutes. But otherwise, thank you so much for attending this event. And thank you, Michelle, for teaching again. And we'll see all of you guys next time. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Free.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. Bye, Creighton.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, Max.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Have a good winter break. Bye.
Oh, thank you. You too. Okay. Have a good break.
Bye.
All right, thanks everyone. I'm gonna end the call.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.